welcome back to the first part of PHP. So, in this language or in this chapter, we'll discuss the basic principle of a language, just like we've discussed in JavaScript. With that said, we will start with a metaphor, differentiating JavaScript and PHP. So imagine PHP like a lizard that can change its color when it comes to its variables. And JavaScript is a magician. It's unpredictable because, let's say, in JavaScript, let's say you have this in JavaScript. The variables here, like 5 plus 10, it becomes like 510 instead of converting it because you add string and then you add a number. So that's why it's like magician. And then a lizard is PHP because PHP convert this variable to an integer or convert that string to an integer. So here's an example of Hello World in PHP. Also, PHP is run in the server. It is an interpreted language, but it's not like JavaScript where browser has built-in support for it. So we cannot just run it to a browser. We need a runtime environment to run this PHP code. So in the next videos, we will show how to run that code, but this is an example of hello world. Here we start with less than question mark and then we close with question mark and then greater than. And then we echo the HTML paragraph element. A variable is usually declared and initialized, always starting with a dollar sign, followed by a name which may consist of uppercase and lowercase letter and an underscore. So a variable could be start with the dollar sign and it can start with an uppercase or lowercase letter and underscore. So that's here's the rules for creating variables. We will discuss first variables, constants, and operators. So that's just the basic syntaxes of the language. Numbers may also appear, but not at the beginning, or more precisely, not directly after the dollar sign. So after this, you cannot use number after this dollar sign when creating a variable. Casting, represented in our example by the preceding string, can usually be omitted since PHP automatically recognizes or defines the type of the variable. So you don't need to put this string to recognize that this is a string. This John is a string because PHP automatically detects that. The type of a variable is instead determined by the concrete value that the variable contains. So let's say you put a dough in this variable last name, then PHP automatically read that as a string. A variable does not always have to be assigned a value. Instead, you can also pass it at a reference by using the AND operator. So I'll show you an example for this to better understand. Here, you reference this variable last name using and last name. So it's kind of like symbolic link, which we've discussed in the previous video, where we reference the same file, which is here, last name though, in a new file or in a new, in this case, a new variable. So it's kind of have the same concept. The get variable contains all parameters given to the script via the URL. HTTP. So There's a get variable. It's a name. PHP provide given variables or built-in variables such as this get that returns the uniform or URL of your of the application. When you define variables, functions, or classes, they are placed in the global namespace. So when you define this variable, they are defined in the globally. So meaning you can use that anywhere in your files using include. So in other languages such as React, we use import, right? In here, we use include. So here's an example. In this PHP, you define this foo hello world. So this is now hello save as hello world.php file, and then you include that hello world.php using that quotation hello world.php and then closing semicolon, and then you echo that foo, which is hello world. Variable defines in functions do not exist outside their functions. However, and the global keyword enables you to bypass this restriction. So another thing is it's like other language where the variables inside the functions can only be used on that functions unless you imported or imported using an include keyword. So just like in other programming language, you cannot use that unless you import it. But in other language, you actually need to export it like React for it to be available. In this case, it's automatic. So by default, it's already exported. You just need to use include here. So next is using constants. Constants are variables that cannot be changed. Constants are defined by the define function where you can also see how a call is made, namely without a preceding dollar sign here. In this PHP constants, we define it minute in seconds, comma 60. So the format for that is that define open and close parentheses. Constants can also be written in lowercase, but the general convention is to use uppercase letters. So for constant, you use uppercase letter like this. You rarely use lowercase letter. Constants are always global, which means they can access from anywhere, from a function as well as from a class method. So they can be accessed anywhere. Uh, as well from a function as well as from a class method. PHP uses some predefined constants or magic constants. Predefined constants start with a double underscore, 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 like file, for example, returns the full path and file name of the file that currently being executed. So anything that or any executed file will be returned when you use this dash dash file, capital file dash dash. So caution, you should use this format for constant sparingly because PHP might add some of that in the future that makes your app breaks, right? So you should caution in using this type of constants. And there you go, guys. We started with the basics, variables and constants. In the next videos, we will discuss using operators, and then we'll continue with applying PHP in a real server and creating an app for PHP. And again, thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Peace.